Next up, I'm super excited to bring on stage, we have some content creators, and I can tell you from my own experience, making content is an unbelievable amount of work, and blockchainboy and Joshua do it, and they make it look easy. And behind the scenes, an incredible amount of work goes into making it feel conversational and natural and like you're a part of the community. So I'm so excited to welcome to the stage. Please welcome the CryptoKnights.
Thanks, man.
This is for you guys.
No.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Am I good here? Can you guys hear me?
Good morning, good morning.
It's hard to tell up here. It's also very bright. I see why everyone's kind of blinking up here. Well, thanks for having us, guys. We're a couple of Web3 content creators out here. I can't see your faces due to the lights, but I'm sure I know a lot of friendly faces out there, and I'm excited to meet you all. My name is blockchainboy.
It's Joshua Jake, and yeah, I'm sure we've interviewed just about almost everywhere here at the point, you know? So
yeah, we are running interviews, by the way, before I get started.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to, come up to our makeshift studio, which is in my hotel room after this, we're doing interviews after we break for lunch. Unfortunately, we will have to miss a few of those talks, which I'm very sad about, but you guys are awesome. I'll watch the recordings. Let me ask you this. Do you guys have a eureka moment with the IC? Is there a specific point in time where you realized, holy crap, this is going to change the game? Everyone seems to have like that point, right? Where was
I think
that for
everybody
you?
has. At our point was about a year ago. We kind of came into the ICP community after obviously everything we know that happened through the perpetual contracts and FTX.
Yeah, Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried, may he rot in jail.
And that's what we got to hear first as Web3 content creators. We deal with all the hate first before we get to figure out what the technology actually is. So it's always a process, but for us actually was Daniel. Crypto is good.
Yeah,
He's here
shout
right
out
now,
Crypto is
so shout out
good
to
in the
him.
house.
Yeah.
That's the homie. I minted IC Punks when they first launched, and that process for me was like this eureka moment. Like we're competing, we're creators, right? We're looking at all these different blockchains and trying to place our bets on which ones are going to last, which ones aren't. And the IC has been this kind of dark horse project for a lot of people in the space. But once you get people to use it and figure out, oh my God, this is like what blockchain was intended to be, not what it's supposed to be now with all this, kind of patching stuff together, all these third-party apps and oracles that you need, and it's expensive. I mean, the reverse gas model alone actually sells most people, and we just want to help kind of explain how we communicate that to our audiences.
Yeah, it's one of those moments. I mean, we just all saw what just happened, with the Ledger announcement just this week. Crypto's supposed to be completely trustless, so it's good to see a community where that's actually being built on, and we're excited to be here. And today we're going to be just jumping into what we're good at, and that is going to be content creation and just, Web3 education. So I'm going to have you lead off with what we do at CryptoKnight, but...
Thanin you, sir. No slides for you today, everyone. I know we're a bit slided out at the moment. I prefer a bit more of an impromptu, talking to kind of in the vein of if I was talking to someone from my audience or if I met you at a bar. So we are CryptoKnight here out of Orlando, Florida. I've been in crypto since 2017, and I met Joshua on TikTok, actually, which is where we both got our start.
Yeah, so, content creation is not even going to just be about, building your own brand. It's going to be about the networking and the connections that you build. So, 2021, Bitcoin Miami is where I flew out from California.
Yep.
Met this guy in person, met Michael Sessa, our CEO, and the rest of our team, and we decided to just launch a media brand because I think you guys know this. The Web3 content creation space is a very interesting space. You have 99% of it is just complete shills, and then the other 1%, there is some good, very, very good content out there,
But it's also not the most prolific or the most prominent, right? I feel like that Web3 content creators get a really bad rap, and we're definitely not perfect. We made mistakes along the way, but I think the difference is like having that intention, being able to show that you have a proven track history. I mean, look, how many times have we seen some scandal on Twitter about somebody shilling some garbage or rug pulling their community or doing some crappy undisclosed promo? So we kind of want to take that and shove it away from the public eye and promote people and projects in the space who are building some exciting stuff, right? And most of you guys are builders that I've met at least, and we're just kind of here to at least give our story on how to market a project effectively, right?
Yeah, so I would like to start off a little bit about social anxiety. I think this is the biggest thing we're all going to have issues with, especially being in the Web3 space, because most of us are going to be engineers, tech developers, and people that let's be real, we don't leave the house too much. So,
and getting in front of a camera is hard,
yes.
right? Like nowadays it's natural for me and it feels like, putting on a worn pair of shoes. But when I first got started, I was hemming and hawing and it was like, it was kind of a hard thing to get started. It's also hard to craft a narrative and to tell a story. And that's why, we do what we do and we try to inspire others to do it for themselves, right? You shouldn't have to hire a marketing team when you can download TikTok. I know some people don't take it seriously. You should, trust me. Download TikTok, make short form content, even uploading YouTube videos. Keep your audience engaged and show them why your product, what you're building is worth the attention.
Yeah, I think, starting off just right off the rip on what is the best way to kind of break that social anxiety, which, by the way, it'll never really go away. Every single audience you're going to have generally gets larger and larger and larger, and it's something you're just going to kind of build off of. It's a skill set. So it's all going to be about repetition. Now, I actually have someone I'm mentoring here as well. I've worked with dozens of blockchain projects. I mean, between us, it's been hundreds at this point where we've done consulting and marketing and advising on the back end. But the first step is simply just going to be doing what you guys have. Each and every single one of you has an amazing skill set. You're very intellectual, or just very smart in general. And ultimately, you have something to share that is very, very valuable. So just putting that on the internet. I know it's very, very hard. It's not too complex. But that is going to be the first step in just kind of the accountability and starting to post. It's getting in front of your camera, in front of your phone. And this is kind of funny because as you do it more and more in front of your phone, like you're FaceTiming your mother pretty much, you start posting that to the internet, you'll start pulling in views and everything, and it's still completely different from being in person, but that is the first way to allow you to kind of break that social anxiety structure that we've all been cooped up in.
Yeah, plus, we want the internet computer ecosystem to succeed here, and we feel like the best way to do that is not by just like pumping our channels. We want to decentralize that and kind of give you guys the tools that we've learned over the last 3 years to do it for yourselves. Because let's be real, the internet computer ecosystem is mostly extremely technical. It's a lot of people doing like very, very like technical minded things. And the average person walking down the street, when I'm pitching the internet computer, I'm not pitching like, I'm not trying to explain what a canister is. I'm not trying to sit here and kind of explain, it's actually on chain. What I'll do is I'll show them what matters to them, which is, hey, this reverse gas model is pretty cool. Hey, it takes 2 seconds to actually buy an NFT. Hey, look how much money you're saving compared to using something like Ethereum. Look at how secure it is. Then you lead into the tech stuff. One thing I've learned is that people do not like having blockchain shoved down their throat. You got to shoehorn it in with other useful things. It's like the perfect example would be, using a bank system that has blockchain integrated where they don't even know it's being used at all.
Yeah, and honestly, so with what we're going to talk about, anybody can build a brand from 100 to 100,000 followers.
Facts. There's no reason
believe that
any of you people cannot do that. What we do, I promise you, TikTok is not that hard. I promise you, it's not that hard.
Bouncing off what you actually just said, the way you do this isn't by just making content on crypto. I wish it was that easy. I love crypto. We're passionate about crypto. But there's a reason why, Pepe is going to be producing 1 million views while, ICP Canisters is going to be getting 500. It's not because the technology is great. It's not because the people aren't amazing. It's because people like shiny objects. It's why we're in the Hard Rock Casino, right?
That is why we're in the Hard Rock and not in, a community center.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, hopefully you guys didn't get cleaned out last night. I'm down bad, but we ain't going to tell that to my accountant, right? All right? Between you and me.
Law of probability is what I like to assume, but
no, I just spam it. My gambling hand is tired with the slot machines, man.
So you got to treat your content the same way, and I'm just going to sound awful, as the casino. You need to make it attractive. All the machines, the technology, I have no idea how the hell a slot machine works, but am I going to play it? Am I going to use it? I'm going to spend all my money on that thing, right? I'm going to keep coming back to it. So with content creation in the Web3 space, what I have found and what we have found is kind of that next step in where we need to head, just not only in this bear market, but in the future of the Web3 space, is by integrating it with just normal topics. You don't have to just have a crypto channel that's about your canisters. Talk about who you are. Talk about your brand. If you're an entrepreneur, which I'm pretty sure everybody in this room is at this point,
full of them.
which is awesome. Talk about your story. That's what people want to hear, and that's what people want to be a part of. So if you create that connection and just break through that kind of barrier to entry with the Web3 education, still integrate that with 25% of your content. We'll talk about this really, really quick, but it's going to be the 50-25-25 rule. And this is what I have everybody I'm mentoring follow. And this is kind of the easiest pattern to just scale your content. It's going to be 25% of that content is going to be Web3 crypto. That's going to be your technological stuff. That's going to be your boring, nerdy, go nerd out, talk about whatever you want, talk about the tech, and dive into it. The next 25%, that is going to be kind of your captain. That's going to be what you're steering the road with. That is going to be your trends. That's going to be talking about things that are viral, whether it's conspiracy theories or whatever you love and are passionate about. Me is macroeconomics. It's news. It's geopolitical concerns.
You got to catch that attention, right? Attention is really, I hate to say it, it is gamified at this point. When I've probably watched more TikToks than is appropriate for somebody at my age with the amount of time I've spent on my phone. But it was that or it was crypto Twitter, so probably mix it up. But I will say this, like the videos that I've seen do the most numbers always have a viral element to them, whether it's a really good hook to your intro, whether it's actually being able to see something that's behind the scenes, something that people want to know about. If you have like an edge, very similar to trading, if you have an edge in your content, use that and push it forward, right? Use it to push your brand, whatever you're building. Create that following for yourself, and you won't have to sort of, die in the bear market if you have that strong community established.
Yeah, so 25, and that last 50% is going to be kind of just the bulk of your brand. So what I mean by this is kind of a broad-based statement. You're going to stay completely away from the boring technological advancements that your regular grandmother, mom, father, children are not going to understand. You're going to want to talk about the trending stuff as much as it hurts. But that is how you bring that attraction to your channel. So whether it is talking about Pepe, I know we're in a part of an ICP community. I'm not a fan of meme coins whatsoever, but it's something that you need to talk about
I've
and bring
grown
up
on
with the
Doge.
community.
I think Doge is okay. Can we accept Doge now? Can we just admit that it's been here 10 years, pretty much?
It's been here for a decade.
It's around.
You're making them. Some people are squirming in their chairs right now.
Hey man, look. As long as there's no Bitcoin maxis here, I'm sure they won't hate me.
True. So, but that is the actual point, right? So you need to not only be in this community. I think that is the purpose of this. We need to kill maximalism. Maximalism is what is suppressing the industry further and further each and every single day. And it starts honestly with the content creators, because they start building these brands that are all focused on one area, and they don't even want to look out or step into another industry because they are just one and only.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned maximalism, because me and Josh, before I really red-pilled him on IC, he was talking about maximalism in the crypto space, right? You have your people who are very dead set on the ISO 222 standard coins, your people who are just Bitcoin maxis, who won't touch anything else, and it's very similar to ICP, how it integrates natively things like Bitcoin into its network. The same way that we should be integrating content, not only focused on one thing, but as a whole for the crypto space, right? And so, content is like such an interesting thing. Like I'm not gonna lie. I never thought I'd be a content creator, and that's how I know anyone can be a content creator. You ever seen that Ratatouille movie? Anyone can be a chef. Anyone can be a chef, but not everybody can be a chef. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's seriously just a skill set like anything you do. So it's just going to take time and repetition. And it's going to take, honestly, some form of accountability. If you have someone that's just holding it up to you and saying, hey, you're going to post 30 times this month, you need to hold up to that. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you break away from that social anxiety and that structure that kind of keeps us suppressed. Now, for me, I kind of learned this when I did door-to-door. I did door-to-door for AT&T for a very long time. I've had the cops called on me, been spit in the face by grandmas because I'm just knocking at their door at 8 p.m. at night in the summer. But ultimately, it is just that repetition. Every single door you go to, you just got to think of, forget what happened at that last one. Even if your content, your video was terrible. I don't go back 2 years. I refuse to go back 2 years on my channel. It is cringy.
I'm not looking at that.
I'm scared to do it.
Please don't scroll back.
When it pops up on my For You page, I'm just like,
Yeah, they started doing this thing where it's reminding you from 2 years ago. I don't want to see that. Come on now.
The memories.
Yeah,
it's
like constant innovation. And I'll say this to those of you who are trying to market either a project or a fund or a brand. The best marketing is when they're not even sure they're being marketed to at all. It's very much like believing in God, right, with faith. And so when it comes to pushing your brand, it shouldn't feel like an ad, right? Like if I'm posting a video as a brand on TikTok, I'm not going to be like, hey guys, check out what we're building. This is very cool. What I'm going to do is craft a narrative behind that gives people a reason to stay, right? I mean, you're going to lose half your audience in the first 2 seconds of every video, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, you have 2 seconds to really give them a reason to give a shit. Otherwise, they're going to bail and wipe their ass and get off the toilet.
Yeah, that's exactly the transition to the next part of the door-to-door, what I was talking about, where when they come to that door, they're not buying the product ever. They're actually just physically buying you. So it's going to be based on the engagement you have with that person. So every single door you got to go to, you got to act like it's a brand new lead. It's completely separate. It's going to be a brand new yes. When you're talking to that individual, you need to make it comfortable. This is the point of content. You can't make it hard to digest. When I'm at that door, I'm not talking about all of their problems. I'm talking about their neighbor problems because they all have the same issues, right? So when you're creating your content, for me doing macro news or for you playing video games as well, now integrating some new lifestyle type content, it's so that way we can bring a community that wants to be there for us. And at the same time, they're going to slowly integrate without even realizing that the majority of our content is Web3 and content around crypto.
Which goes back to what I said before. People don't like to be sold blockchain, right? Especially in a bear market. I don't know, I can't tell you how many times that I've talked about NFTs and the first comment is scam, 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 scam. And I'm like talking about like the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm like, come on, guys. Now I know that NFTs aren't the sexiest thing right now on the internet, but if you describe to someone the benefits of an NFT without saying the word NFT, oh my God, it's like, whoa, what is this crazy thing? How can I get one?
Yeah.
How can I integrate this in my game I'm building? How can I integrate this in my website, in my marketplace? But then if you use the word NFT, it's like shuts down all conversation. So just keep that in mind. It's something I've experienced. Not sure if you guys have experienced that as well. Same thing goes for
go on Twitter right now. Go on Twitter right now and type in crypto. You'll understand completely what we mean by this. When you type in crypto on Twitter, this is why I'm honestly worried about things like regulation, which we're not going to talk about and get into that deep dive stuff. That's a whole other conversation.
Let's just assume we're all screwed and move on.
Yeah, but when you type in crypto on Twitter, it is going to be constant flooding of bots, meme coins, shit coins,
It's
NFT
like stepping
products,
in that casino over there.
rug pulls, some anonymous builder that raised $7 million for a project that we all know is not going to make it. These type of things are what are going viral. These are what are talked about. And then when we're coming right off the backlash of Voyager, FTX, Celsius, just all these corrupt organizations that ultimately took advantage of their investors, it's scaring everybody off. I know we have families, friends, girlfriends, brothers, sisters, whatever it is, that have had money on these accounts, these exchanges. And so they're scared. They don't want to hear about this technology. Even though it's so innovative and amazing, this is why you need it to be interoperable, kind of like the ICP is doing with, obviously, the bridging to everything with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's the same concept when it comes to content.
So, I hope hopefully our rambling was somewhat helpful to you. We're entering sort of the Q&A section here in the next minute and a half. Just some closing statements. We're actually based out of Orlando, Florida. We have a full content studio. If anyone ever wants to, collab, reach out to us. I'll literally talk to anybody as long as you're not trying to scam me. So, hopefully I get to meet you guys after this. I'm super excited. I've already met a couple of you guys, and I'm very excited about what I saw yesterday. So I can only imagine it's going to compound today.
Yeah, we've already interviewed quite a few amazing people here, and we'll be doing that again today. So if you guys want to come up after us and speak to us, I'll be doing some really cool things. But yeah, we're all media creation, production, everything that you need to know from A to Z for marketing. We've been through it all.
And I haven't used the phrase "bridge the gap" once. I think you should take note of that. I'm very tired of hearing it. I did use it in 2021. Never again, I promise. Don't worry.
Some cliche statements.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Start throwing out some heaters. Yeah.
But no, I just want to give a shout out to our amazing team over there. Shout out Sessa and Patrick. You guys are the GOATs. Absolutely amazing. I've actually been working with Sessa since I was 16, 17 years old. I'm now 22. I've been in Web3 since I was in high school. This is all I've known. Literally, man. And so shout out to him for, taking me this far.
I'm so glad he got to Moldy before I met you because he would have been awful in high school. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
You would have loved me, bro.
Been
Come
terrible.
on now.
But,
that being said, let's open it up.
Yeah, let's open this up. Any
Hit
questions,
me. I
guys?
can't see any of you, so someone give them a mic. These lights are so bright, dude. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Mr. Green shirt, yellow, I can't tell what that is. Green markings.
Hi, I'm just curious, how do you get over crypto tribalism when you have the best tech?
Well, I mean, maybe you shouldn't be asking me that, considering I take a dump on XRP about every time I open Twitter.
I'll answer this because when I first came into crypto, I was a straight-up XRP maximalist. The person that got me into crypto was like, hey, this is going to be a game changer. This is going to integrate ISO standards and do all these amazing things. And then you realize, wow, there's a lot more technology out there, right? And so, how do you eliminate tribalism is by, as a community, don't integrate it into your community. Don't talk about it in that manner. Just talk about the education, and when someone comes into your community, talk about the tech, but don't go trash on other ecosystems. That is the number one issue that we see in this space right now.
I have a separate take. I like to trash on ecosystems because these people are so caught up in this delusional lie that they've been told since God knows when they first bought XRP or whatever.
So do what, though?
You
kill them with
you have to
kindness.
shake them out
Kill
of it.
them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness.
That is what we need to
attack
approach.
the project. If you attack the project, if I can get someone
Yeah.
into a FaceTime call with me or something, I can basically undo the brainwashing in like 2 seconds. But if we're talking about like actual tribalism and bringing it to a serious level, you have to remind them why we're here, right? We're not here because the internet computer should be the only thing that ever exists, right? Crypto in general, right, is the reason why we're here. Web3, blockchain, whatever label you want to slap on it, we're all part of the same boat. And because you can't just like put a hole in the boat that you're in, even if it means the other people, sink with you.
We're speaking from experience. So again, shout out to Crypto's good Daniel, now Sardine Master. I don't know if he's here today.
I don't know where he's at.
Ultimately,
pulled him out of our hole.
it took a ridiculous amount of time and just content after content where he wasn't attacking anybody. He was just simply breaking down videos on the internet, and we would just see them every now and then. And we're like, okay, there's more than meets the eye here with what happened with the whole history and everything and the manipulation. So it's something that's like killing them with that kindness is going to go a lot further than it would be just trashing on their ecosystem and be like, hey, why aren't you part of us?
Hopefully that helped. I'm not sure. I think at the end of the day, it's just kind of we got a ball, fuck it, we ball. But Mr. Red Shirt.
Can you guys speak a bit about volume, like in terms of creating content? So I've tried to do content creation, but it's like, it feels like it's really hard to get traction if you're not pumping out a ton of content. So how do you do it if you're doing
quality
other
over
things?
quantity? So the first thing you're want to do, it's a great question. It's probably the hardest question is I would automatically try to find a mentor, try to reach out to creators or other businesses that are around your, not your size. You need to be going to people that are, like for me, I got about 500,000. I'm mentoring people with 2,000, 3,000. The goal and objective is you need someone that's going to hold you accountable and tell you that your content's just trash. That is the hardest point, is just being is that humility. You need to be able to have someone that says, hey, because if you're producing this mass amount of content, let's say you build 60 videos, right? You produce them all the same exact way, and they're not producing numbers. It's not going to be because you're not hitting the algorithm. It's not going to be because people aren't sharing your whatever it is. It's going to be because the content's just not that good, and so it needs a mold. It might have a good merit and understanding.
There are. I would say this, depending on what platform you're trying to get reach on, it can be different, right? Like I've had varied success on different platforms. I'm best at making short form content, but I've also found a lot of success in streaming on both TikTok and Twitch and Kick. And so that's been something I've kind of been exploring, as well as, check out our YouTube channel. Shout out CryptoKnight Media.
Yes, sir.
But what kind of content were you creating? What kind of like short form, long form?
I would mainly just be kind of discussing like my interest in the ecosystems and kind of just sharing, my own research and stuff. But
Sure. What platform specifically were you targeting?
I was on TikTok.
Yeah, so TikTok, like I said, first 2 seconds, you got to give them a reason to stick around, right? Whether that's, I've seen literally people put fake spiders on their walls. You have to hack the attention to get initial traction.
So,
right?
Like I was talking about that 75 or that 50, 25, 25 rule. It's not your content. Like, again, you're probably producing some amazing, informative content to produce out there. It's just going to be taking that, and it's like us building a sandwich. So you're probably just missing 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ingredients to make what is going to be a great sandwich, but you're just only using 1 or 2 ingredients. So using just a simple method, having that accountability, and honestly just reaching out to creators that are your size, a little bit bigger, that is going to be where you can have that accountability and just start molding your content.
Ask for help. And you thought I was going to make the sandwich reference. Yeah. But no, but for real, dude, like you can't give up. Like I just posted constantly. Yeah. I think the first video that ever got any traction on TikTok, because I had been doing like these long drawn out explanations, was where I was like, I just woke up and made $5,000, I think that got 50,000 views. And I remember because I was sitting in the bathtub and I was like, holy shit. Cause I'm a bathtub enjoyer, guys. Shout out to the Romans. Soaking's where it's at.
He has to have bubble baths.
Yeah, we got an applause for that? Let's go, dude. Okay, but I freaked out. Now it's like 50,000 views. I'm expecting that because come on, once you craft your sword, you can cut them down.
It's a craft. It's a skill set. Just like I can't.
It's a snowball,
code
man.
Or
Don't give up. Don't get disheartened. Just try different things until you find something that catches fire, and then keep doing that thing until it doesn't work anymore. Because that's just how it runs on TikTok. Anybody else? surveying the crowd. Well,
Sweet.
if that's it today, guys, I know we have a little bit more time, but I'm not trying to hold you guys up here. You can find us after the show. Josh,
Yeah,
any closing
so-
statements? I'm pretty much done.
I'd say closing statements are going to be definitely check out our Web3 podcast. We got a new show also launching. That's going to be called Open Source, and we're going to be doing a lot of interviews with some really big just politicians, engineers.
We need to shout out our co-host, who is unfortunately not here, but he will be at Bitcoin Miami. Shout out the wonderful founder of the Florida Blockchain Business Association, Samuel Arms, longtime friend, who just got the anti-CBDC bill passed and signed by Ron DeSantis. What a cool guy. Shout out him. I wish he could have been here today.
Yeah, he's pushing straight for the regulation, and he's a lot more on that political side. So we're attacking all areas of this industry. So definitely check that out. Check us out on Twitter. And most importantly, guys, if you guys come up to us after us, just show us you guys a project. If you guys want to be interviewed, we will be doing interviews again here today, and just having a great time with everyone. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys for listening to me ramble up here. Find me on Twitter at blockchainboy with 2 Ys because my username was taken. And I'll see y'all next time.
Thank you, guys.